Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mridanga Namo Namaha, Jai Garanga, Jai Nishingade. Okay, Hare Krishna. We're going to start with a mantra that is in Catur Jati. So it's those in 2s and 4s, but the groupings are, so this is different from looking at the concept of Tisra Jati, which is taking a grouping of 3 hits, 1, 2, 3, as opposed to a grouping of Catur Jatis that are in 3. So you're going to learn different kind of patterns of bowls where they're kind of in chunks of things, usually a chunk of 2, 4, or a chunk of 3. And what I mean by that is, you can have tere keta and then tere keta, and you can look at it as kind of 2 groups of 3, and the jati is Catur Jati, but there's 2s, but you've got a grouping of 3 where you're looking at 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 groupings of 2. And that will work out to help you to see things a little differently when you're building in Das Pahira taal, where you need kind of 8 blocks, or 8 matras as they're called, 8 beats, and those beats extend or compress depending on the time signature if you're playing half speed, double speed, etc. But this concept is just teaching you so you can play tere keta, keta, so that's 6 matras or 6 beats, tere keta, tere keta. Each one of these is called a matra, M-A-T-R-A, or a beat. Tere keta, tere keta, tere keta. So you've got a group of 3, a group of 3, and a group of 2 on the end for tere keta. This is different from Tisra Jati, where the actual blocks that you're playing are, so in each matra, the block is only 3 hits, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's Tisra Jati. Catur Jati is when you're playing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the taal in Das Pahira taal is, in normal time, you've got 4 matras or 4 spaces or 8 quarter notes. And then you can fit a different amount of notes into each one of those spacings as well. So you can have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just single notes. And then you can start looking at grouping, different bowls and different styles. So tere keta, tere keta, tere keta. That's a 3 block, 3 matras, and 2 matras. So you're looking at in a different light, but you just can't mistake that for being a different jati. It's just that now you're learning Catur Jati in blocks of 3 matras apiece. And you can play a 2, and then 3 and 3. You can play a 2, a 3, or a 3, a 2, and a 3 like this. And so you start learning these blocks and you start being able to see. And I'll put in the description more about what that means. So this mantra is tere keta, tere keta, tere keta. 3, 3, 2. Now the lagu for the closed part. So tere keta, bottom. Kete tere keta, kete tere keta, tere keta. And the wording that we're using for this is ne, kene tere keta, kene tere keta, tere keta, tere tere keta, tere tere keta, tere, kene tere keta, kene tere keta, tere keta, tere tere keta, tere tere keta, kene tere keta, kene tere keta, tere keta, tere tere keta. Empty hit, kene tere keta, kene tere keta, tere keta, tere tere keta, tere tere keta, kene tere keta, tere. So then you want to build your speed up. Now, there's a couple things we said of this. You could look at it like tere, tere, keta, tere, and then tere, keta, tere, keta. But when you're playing Mridanga, you know, it's not necessarily, it doesn't really mess the taal up as long as everything is in the right jatis and you're at the right matras and the spacing. So you don't have to look at it as like tere, tere, keta, tere, and then tere, keta, tere, keta. If you look at it like tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, and 2 blocks of 3 and then tere, keta, it still works and it doesn't really mess anything up. So that's the easiest way to look at this. So tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, So you want to build your speed up with this. This leads to the same patterns when you want to learn your relas and your fingering. All of these things then will be automatic because your fingers just follow the wrist, and as long as these patterns are here, then the fingers also follow exactly the same. No different. If you don't learn like this first and play from your wrists, then you start playing like this, and you just have no speed trying to play from the joints, and you really don't have much power, and it's just much easier once you get very loose. And then you can also use the looseness of the joints as well to further enhance the experience. So let's go over this once more. Tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, keta. Remember to twist that wrist at the end. Tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, keta. Don't let it come and close on you here, because then you're going to have this propensity to try to come up with just the index finger for the ta. Tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, keta. Keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, keta. Keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So that's that mantra. Nice introduction to forming a mantra with your 8 matras and using kind of a different pattern. It isn't just a straight 4 and a straight 4. We got 3, 3, and 2. And this can change later to using patterns of 5 and all different things as well. So the next mantra then, this is back to Catur Jati, Das Pahira taal, and this is showing now instead of 3, 3, and 2, we've just got the straight blocks of 2s and 4s, and it all fits. So we've got keta, tete, tete, keta, block of 4, tete, 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 keta, block of 4. Easy. Keta, tete, tete, keta. Keta, tete, tete, keta. This also could be tete 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 keta keta tete tete keta. The other one we had tere keta starting and then keta tere keta. They switch and swap. Bablu, Prabhu has definitely, you know, had mantras all different ways. It depends what you're trying to practice and you know, what type of emphasis you're placing in certain parts. But you know, for different practices, sometimes you start with the keta tete keta and then tete tete keta. And we're not showing like full mantras here. We're not showing the even the guru and lagu here. We're just practicing with the K. We're not doing K. So this one is again keta tete tete keta. And I'll write this out. I don't have the exact writing here that I'll be using for the formatting in the description. But so this will be kene tere tere keta, kene tere tere keta, tere 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 keta, or tere 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 keta. I have to decide which standard I'm going to use when I write that in the description. Kene tere tere keta, tere 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 keta, kene tere tere keta, tere 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 keta, kene tere tere keta. And you can practice like so you practice going from single speed to double speed. And that's fun. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, I remember on the bottom part, you know, when you're playing K, you're coming more from the top of the drum. So we're showing K is actually at the top, not here, and it's sitting in that nice part of your hand. And the hand just drops down for K, for 4 fingers and thumb. Not like this, not like, you know, you see all different people playing stuff like this, or they play their Ks like this. So none of that. Gay, full, and you want this loose so that it can snap onto the drum. So you want that snapping. You want to be able to have a lot of power from close distances and not have to wind up or anything to produce a lot of power, because that takes time. So we went over that. So now I'm going to show, what do we have to do now? Okay, let's show Tisra Jati of this first and then move into Lofa taal. So, no, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Tisra Jati. No, we're going to have to show Lofa taal and then Tisra Jati and Lofa taal, because that's the only thing that's going to fit here. So we learned tere tere keta, tere tere keta, tere keta, keta tere keta, keta tere keta, tere keta, 3, 3, and 2 for 8 matras. Now we're going to learn 6 matra for Lofa taal. Tere tere keta, kene tere keta, tere tere keta, kene tere keta. This can also be kene, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, depending on, you know, what we're playing at the time. When you're practicing, you want to be able to practice these mantras from all different angles of view. So there's no difference, you know, it's not like it's set in stone. So you should definitely practice tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. And also starting on the K. Kene, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. Kene, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. So we'll use that one to keep in line with the keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, 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 keta. Now we're going keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. And it's for Lofa taal. And you have 6. Tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, 6. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. Tere, tere, keta. Still Catur Jati, still 2s, but we're playing in blocks of 3 matras. 1, 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna. Now it's there in tere keta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So let's try that. So Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there we started the first half, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, and then on that last part, you doubled up because then I reversed it and I started keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, starting from Pahira. So then we had 2 tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. And you'll see how that will help to build mantras as we move as well. Let's see here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, so we've got that. That's Lofa taal. So now let's look at that same mantra but using Tisra Jati and Lofa taal. Keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're gonna, but that's in Catur Jati in 2. So now let's actually look at. Now we're gonna look at Lofa taal in Tisra Jati and also in blocks of 3 matras in terms of what we're looking at. Kenete, kenete, reketa, kenete, reketa, terete, reketa, terete, reketa. So that was incorrect. So when you switch to Tisra Jati, then you're adding in. So now we're losing the blocks. So we're back to 2 matras apiece. Terete, reketa, kenete, reketa, terete, reketa, kenete, reketa, terete, reketa, kenete, reketa. So in Lofa taal, I'm just winging this. I haven't even written most of this stuff down. I have a structure of all the mantras that I've learned from my gurus, but because I'm trying to show so many different angles here, I really want people to see this from each angle. And I haven't written all that stuff out, so, but it's pretty easy. I'm getting the hang of it now, and taking any mantra and doing this is not too difficult. But so let's get this right. So we're going to do Lofa, taal, Tisra Jati, because Tisra Jati is now broken it down into blocks of 2 again, so we're going to need extra stuff. So instead of the mantra being tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, that will work for 4/4 time, but we're in Lofa, so we're now tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. So we have to add on that extra bit. Ha, ha, Hare Krishna. So tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta for 6 matra. Hare Krishna. Let me get it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. So that's cool. Hare now that's same, so we're going tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. So that's in Lofa, taal, because you still get the 6 matras. Tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Now if you want that in Tisra Jati and to fit into Pahira taal, then you can't have as much. So then we're back to tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So that's playing tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. So in Tisra Jatis for each time that we're on the knuckles, and we're in Pahira taal because we're playing in 4 blocks of 4 matras. Tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. So you can mix and match it, extend, as long as you're in that jati, you're playing around with this mantra, and you're following how many matras you need for Pahira taal. So let's try that. So tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So at the end we did keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta. So let's try the simple version. Hare Krishna. Let's start on keta, tere, keta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Now reverse it. Hare Rama, Hare. So now we're going tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare. I got confused there, but I had it. But then I was trying to think. I was gonna say what it was, but. So anyways, yeah, as long as you're following, so we learn tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Then you go tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Then you go tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta, tere. Sorry, tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. Tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. And there's so many different, keta, tere, keta, keta. sounds, you know, a little rudimentary at the moment, and it kind of is, but this starts to build your foundation for actual, you know, Tisra Jati mantras when you're playing in Das Pahira taal. So keta tere keta keta tere keta keta tere keta. So later on, instead of tere tere keta, it becomes tak tere keta. Or instead of keta tere keta keta tere keta, it becomes keka 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 keka. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Kerka, kerka, takita. Kerka, kerka, kerka. Kerka, kerka, kerka. But you have to start playing keta, tere, keta. Tere, tere, keta, keta, tere, keta. Keta, tere, keta, tere, tere, keta. Then later we'll expand on how to get to the next stage. 26 minutes. Alright, well, I guess that's enough for this class. I know last class we said we'd start looking at kene, John, Daguru good. But there's still quite a bit of stuff to get through. So next class, we'll have a whole class dedicated to that. Kene, John, different versions. Some hand practice with Daguru, Dagger. And also how to play one version of that in Lofa taal. There's lots of different versions and different ways. It's not always just Dagger. There's lots of different ways that you can play it, and then lots of different ways that those fit into your different taals as well. So we'll get into that next class. Hare Krishna.